transgender athletes can participate in the sport of the gender that they identify with. Mm-hmm. And so now, for the first time, you have a lawsuit, a pushback from heterosexual white female students who are now arguing that it is reverse discrimination against heterosexual female athletes, because if I'm a female wrestler, mm-hmm. and you let a boy who identifies as a girl come and wrestle in a wrestling meet, how can I beat him? Mm-hmm. He has, even though he might think he's the girl, mm-hmm. he has the body of a man, he has the muscle mass of a man, mm-hmm. and he has the bone density of a man.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was wondering, you mentioned the whole transgender deal. Is that something the U.S. is going to try to put pressure on African countries to accept transgender propaganda or policies or homosexual policies in order for them to receive aid from the U.S.?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, right after President Biden was elected, one of the officials of the U.S. government had already issued a threat to an African nation. I forget which country. I think it's Uganda. Issued a threat basically telling them that if they do not depathologize homosexuality, if they do not uphold and affirm same-sex marriage as legal, they will lose their international aid. Mm-hmm. So literally, Joe Biden is picking up where Barack Obama left off. That same-sex agenda is right back. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think one of the reasons Joe Biden was elected over Trump was because they needed him to push the LGBTQ population control agenda across the planet, in particular in Africa. Donald Trump was not for it. He was against it, and I think that was one of the reasons why the global power structure did not endorse him for a second term.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So now we talk about homosexuality and transgender. What do you say about transgender in the school system with the wrestling and pushing for equality between male and females?
That is a real big issue right now. Mm-hmm. That's heating up because Joe Biden signed an executive order a couple of weeks ago, and of course, he's only been president for 8 weeks, mm-hmm. 60 days right now, so he's only been president for 8 weeks, but he jumped right on the transgender thing, and a couple of weeks ago, I want to say maybe 3-4 weeks ago, he signed an executive order stating that transgender athletes can participate in the sport of the gender that they identify with. Mm-hmm. And so now, for the first time, you have a lawsuit, a pushback from heterosexual white female students who are now arguing that it is reverse discrimination against heterosexual female athletes, because if I'm a female wrestler, mm-hmm. and you let a boy who identifies as a girl come and wrestle in a wrestling meet, how can I beat him? Mm-hmm. He has, even though he might think he's the girl, mm-hmm. he has the body of a man, he has the muscle mass of a man, mm-hmm. and he has the bone density of a man. So the issue is, how can you let a biological male, irrespective of what gender he identifies with, he is biologically a male with heavier bones and stronger muscles, how can you let him compete in a sport that was designed for heterosexual females? Mm-hmm. So that is the issue that I think the Supreme Court, I think this is going to the Supreme Court, because on the surface, I don't see how that's not discrimination. How is that not discrimination if you let a biological male wrestle a girl, swim against a girl, engage in any type of physical athletic competition that involves strength and size? How can you let them take on a heterosexual female? They're always going to win because men are physically stronger, not smarter, but physically stronger than women. And that's the issue that's going on right now.
Plus, they come in defeating the female psychologically, because the female knows that that's a male. She's the first thing she say, well, I can't beat this guy.
Exactly.
And then I wouldn't even want my daughter wrestling with another male. Holding her, squeezing her, rubbing all on her. I wouldn't want that. I'm very athletic myself, and I never did wrestle because I don't even want to know. I don't want to wrestle with no other man. I want to be hugging and rolling all around on the floor with the other man, touching them like that. I'm very athletic, but I don't do no wrestling. But I wouldn't want my daughter wrestling with no guy either.
Yeah, I won't want my daughter's wrestling with no guy. I don't want no guy going into the bathroom with my daughter. I don't care if you think he's a man or not. And that's already been in effect.
Yeah.
In effect since Obama, that they can use the bathroom.
Well, I saw the other day where they were talking about they want to try to have the school system to discourage children from using the word mommy and daddy, or mothers and fathers. I said, so what they're going to do? They're going to eliminate Mother's Day and finally they're going to say Happy Parents' Day?
It's crazy. And the craziest thing about it, and you can mark my words when I say this, if they achieve their population reduction goals for Africans in America and Africans around the world, there will be a counter campaign to undo all of the harm that this has caused in the minds of white children and throughout the society. Because let us keep in mind something, Brother David. We know that last year or the year before, I think it was last year, the Associated Press reported that 20 of the 50 American states, in fact, I think it was 25 of the 50 American states, have a zero birth rate for white people of zero, a zero population growth. So more white people are passing away than are being born in half of America's states. You know what part of that is due to? It's due to this socializing the kids, to be asexual. And so they see the impact that this agenda is having on their own survival as a group. And so once they get enough of our numbers down, there will be a counter campaign sponsored by the government, although you won't know it, to sell back to white kids the need to date the other gender and to build families and procreate. I promise you, this is only temporary until they cut us down. But I'm telling you something, he better be careful because the way his numbers are declining as a result of white kids also being brainwashed into this, he might end up doing more harm to his own race than to ours.
I'm sorry, Eric, did you have another question for Dr. Johnson?
No, that'll be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man, for calling all the way from Louisiana.